sorry. I'm out of the picture here, so I had to.
Once you study the personalities that Laura and I were talking about, there's something called the DISC.
Yeah.
DISC, which is the 4 personality styles, which is a lot easier to learn
Yeah, this actually.
than Myers-Briggs, which has 16.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm disc trained too.
Yeah.
This does overlap with both, because the disc comes from Myers-Briggs.
Right.
Is actually where it came from.
The semaphore.
Yeah. Myers-Briggs was probably one of the original, and then people just added to it so that it was more precise, because 1 in 16 is extremely, with the disc, it's 1 in 100 are literally 100% guaranteed to buy, because there's 100 points. And that's like every single point, they will be more like, they'll love everything that you offer. 1 in 16 will love a very large majority.
So question for you, in this, because I have high numbers on all of those, when I'm sitting here working on the value statement, the goals with target values and all of that, what I'm not seeing any one that's higher than another, so is it just pick one and?
Yeah, pretty much. You can just pick some, like, the key is to pick the goal and then select what you're going to get out of it. The way to prioritize your goals is to find out which one of those has a lower number on any one of these. So the goal is most important. To prioritize them, you select, like if you have 9, like you have 3 9s and you have 1 10, and you have one that has all 3 that are 9s, you're going to select that goal first above the other ones, so that you can get them up, at least one of them up to a 10, and then move on to the one. So it's a continuous process.
So I'm working off the SMART goal that the SMART goal that I already set, and it doesn't really fit the website.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this going, but it doesn't give me any of those things. It's just a necessity.
Safety. It's
Or
money.
variety.
Money. Marks you out as an expert because you have a website. Allows you to contribute back to others, and you're going to learn and grow from it.
Makes us like, yeah, I know. And then the rest of us are like, oh, wow.
Yeah, because I did not see
Because
that.
I didn't see that.
And then, if you really wanted to, you could create a forum on there and create a community and connect
Well,
with
see,
folks.
that's the thing. That's where my 9 is. Everything else is a 10.
Okay, so then create a forum on your website. That would be a goal, or create a Facebook group, or something that creates interaction around your website. If it has to do with your website, that's a good sub goal. Yeah.
Didn't you just say that was the lowest score?
Yeah.
For 10s, and that was the lowest?
That's
Yeah,
why
that's
you.
what I want to raise up.
That's the one you
Yeah.
want to raise up.
So you work on the one that is the lowest because you want to get it as close to a 10 as possible.
Gotcha.
And if one goes down, I do this every 30 days because they will change. You'll notice, or even after, if something major happens in your life, in your business, anywhere, if you do this, you can find out, oh, wow, I need to work on having more fun. I need to work on making more money. I need to work on my growth and attend a workshop. I need to become marked out as an expert by going to Hawk's next workshop. I need to contribute back to the community. What?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
See, now I'm thinking that's like, that SMART is like that with that word, that lady, included in the email.
Ah.
You got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Dottie, you had a question?
No.
No? Michael, you have a question? Dolores?
So,
He gets react like he wasn't doing nothing.
SMART, S, N, A, and T, are those all you, and then R is both
So specific is what the outcome is going to be. M is measurable. So generally speaking, for measurable, this is something that I like to do is make sure that I can check in every 2 weeks, at least. As a goal, if you can check in, so the 120 per year breaks down to about 5 every 2 weeks, approximately. So it's a really great way to be able to go, okay, I'm on track, or I'm at 4, I need to get an extra 1, I need to get 6 next in the next 2-week section, or I need to redo my goal. That's another way you can do it. Great thing about goals is you can always modify the specificities and modify the time, or modify the time, so that you don't ever want to not accomplish your goals. One thing you need to measure is every half-life. So this is always really challenging. So if it's 12 months, you need to do 6 months, 3 months, 1.5 months.
45 days.
Thank you. 45 days.
1/2 of 45.
22.5 days. 22
And then
days.
can do it. We can get it down to
11
numbers.
days, 6 days, or 5 days, and so on. Because that is a necessity. Because if you aren't even halfway there, then you need to either ramp it up a lot, or ramp it up to where you can catch up, or dial your goal back to where you are now, and maybe even a little bit before that, so that way you accomplish it before your due date. You had a moment.
I did.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about the half-life
Mhm.
and going from, I get caught up in the fact that people are eat, sleep, and breathe their business, and I'm just not that person. That's not why I got into business. But I also know that 3 days can go by and I have done nothing on my business.
Mhm.
I'm out there talking to people and networking and whatever, but I'm not really working on my business. So when you're talking about dialing it back and it's like, oh, at the end of the week I'm supposed to have this done, and it's Wednesday and I haven't done anything, yeah. Otherwise I'd be waiting until Friday and being like, oh, shoot, let's get that done today. Yeah, okay, today or tomorrow. And I just kind of slide a little bit.
And the more you let yourself do that, the more often you're going to let yourself do that.
Right.
So halfway through the week, redo your goal until you start getting them accomplished, and then start dialing them up. Also, one thing that I listened to Ted McGrath's his video course this morning. How many of you are going to Ted McGrath's Coaching Leadership Academy? How many? Yeah, it's next weekend. You're going to be there?
I didn't know, I have no conflict.
Oh, okay. You had a conflict.
It's amazing.
I didn't know, but what is it?
Coaching and Leadership Academy?
Huh?
I'll explain a little bit more about it. I was just curious. So he had a video course this morning that was all about 12 things to do when you go to an event, and this is as an attendee. A lot of the things we've actually done in the workbook throughout the day. One of those being setting your intentions for the day, setting goals, doing all that, so you're learning and pre-framing all the things you're going to learn next week. Funny how that happens, right? As part of that,
We're on measurable.
I'm just taking a breather.
So while you're taking a breather, if I
Go
did
ahead.
my math right,
Go ahead, please.
1,000 per year. No, I didn't do my math right.
What is that?
Never mind, I'll come back to it later.
I was just thinking about Laura, that
Mm.
she needs like specific goals. Like, so that on Friday, if she had to, complete, not just, I'm sure some of it is networking is part of it, but I don't know what the other components are that would make you feel like, what are the components to make your business successful? Then you need to write down specifically what those are so that you can have that on your day timer.
I think that's what's happening, is that we're talking about the SMART goals, and I'm realizing that I'm setting all of the something done,
Yeah.
rather than it's the reverse.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
set,
doing, and then I'm like, oh, look, this is off my list.
set the goal
Right.
on your, like when I have a goal to like get a certain number of clients by the end of the day, I don't put like who I'm gonna call. I just put I block off like sections. I'm gonna have this much in client revenue at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And one way or another, it will happen.
Well, and that's what you were saying earlier, which makes a lot of sense, is that when you can see the goal, the steps will just come.
Mhm.
I don't need to be sitting down. I sit down and I spend an hour the night before, the next day, planning my steps for the next day.
Yeah.
Whereas if I had a week-long goal, the steps will just come, because I know I've got this thing I have to hit.
Yeah, and put that result, that end result that you're gonna get. What the specific outcome that you're gonna get on your calendar, on the date. I like having a time. The default time, if you haven't done it, is midnight. 11:59, 59, 59.
In the business day. Yeah. I gotta do it sooner than that.
That's
Yeah.
just and like if you haven't set a time, so yours would be on your calendar. It would be at, if you end at 5 o'clock, it would be from 4 to 5. I actually schedule my goals as an hour because I want to be able to review them, see what I learned, and also once I'm done, I can relax. I like to be able to relax. So.
So you don't relax until after midnight?
No.
That's what you used to do.
Well, I thought you just said you set yours for midnight.
As a default, they're midnight. If you don't set a time, if you just set a date, like if you put them on the date thing, it has to be done by the midnight that day. Yeah.
So this measurable in the half-life is related to the specific goal.
Yes. Correct.
It was a good thing I didn't say what I said before, because I was like off track.
Wouldn't measurable be I'm hung up on, if you just say, on Monday, I just wanna have 2 clients by Friday.
Mhm.
If you don't tell yourself, you don't set it down right on your calendar what steps you're gonna achieve to get there, I don't see how that's gonna happen.
Because when you get hung up on doing those steps and they don't go right, then that goal will fail. I've done it more times than I can count.
Okay,
By just saying
that's your experience.
that you're going to do it, you might during that time that you would have blocked off those steps that you're going to take, you just block off the entire segment of time that says accomplishing this goal. And then you do whatever you need to do within that time period to get it done. Because if you say, okay, well, I'm going to take this step, and then 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 you get here, and you get stuck, and you can't go any further when you just need to take a step forward, and you don't realize that. And that's most often where we get to is to where we're just hitting the wall. We're back here, we're hitting the wall. And it's not clear to us because we're actually facing this way when it was just a turn into the go forward a little bit.
Yeah, my experience was just that, I had to, that if I did what I said I was gonna do, I'd have better chance of getting it done. Because my experience is a bit different, but I'm open to hear.
They may be those may be larger goals then. So they might have steps within them. That may be why you're able to accomplish them. But look at the ones that, when they failed, it had a negative effect on the larger goal. And how that was a disconnect and why that was something that made it so that you couldn't achieve that larger goal because you did get stuck and you weren't able to just step forward so that you could go on and go forward.
So I have a question. In your experience, when you set up a goal, an intention,
Mm-hmm.
you're obviously taking the steps to achieve this goal. And when you have the intention, does it also happen automatically that you just manifest it because you already set your mind so strongly? Or does it have to be because it just comes to you? But that's what I noticed, if I really set intention, and somehow it's being manifested.
You have to do everything in your power to make it happen, and it will happen. Like, I had no idea how I was going to fill this room. When I first, I came up with the idea, I was like, okay, I have this, and then I was like, oh, well, I need to do another workshop. And so I did my first one. And I was like, okay, well, let me talk with Mel, let me talk with John. Let's get something set up so that we can all talk together and create, because I saw what John did, I saw what Mel does, and I knew that the three of us together, and then if I had realized that Ted's CLA was next weekend, we would have done probably would have done 4 of us together instead of 3. So they did 3, and then they did 3 again.
And one more 3, they can triple.
Yeah.
Powerful triangle.
You get 4 together, you hit a grand slam.
So, catchy. To answer your question, in order to create, for me to get there, I had to set it. And then I went and I asked, really what I do is I ask people. I ask people, hey, what can you do to help me? What's the next step?
That's a good way to do it, not to be hesitant.
Yeah, just go out there, say what you want, and then you will find the way as long as you're truly committed to doing it, which is what goes back to the reasons and rewards.
So if I can just piggyback what you just said, I wasn't coming to this till yesterday.
Yeah.
Literally 10 o'clock last night, I'm like, okay, I'm in, whatever, 10 o'clock the night before. Anyway, I set my Facebook status on both my personal and my professional page to tell people, anyone who would listen, about today's program. And nobody could make today, but I have 9 people interested in November.
Oh, I think you've
Yeah.
paid your
But
way.
that's the thing, is that he might not know how he's gonna fill the room, but he doesn't have to know. Somebody else is, he's already put it
As
out
long as
there.
you're taking action and everything is coming your
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Fine. Because
The-
it's action.
Yeah.
I'm sure all of you have seen The Secret.
Mhm.
Raise your hands. Everybody seen The Secret? Okay. Yeah, we watched it.
Okay.
I made you watch it one day.
You had seen it.
I keep thinking, I was like, I think I saw it, but he's not talking about the.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so in The Secret, it says the law of attraction. You have to attract what you want. What they sort of say, but they don't make it clear, is you have to do something about it.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, I want $1 million. That looks really nice to have $1 million, and then say, well, there's a fishing pole right there. I could use it, or I could just mind meld the two together and put them right in front of me.
And the mind meld just doesn't work
Yeah.
because we're not small.
To go off that, I was actually in a workshop, and this person was telling everybody how they psychically communicated with their customers to get them to come. And the instructor said, how's that working for you? And they said, it's not. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You have to take action. You have to take the steps forward. And if you hit the wall, realize that you're hitting a wall. That's the biggest thing. Realize that if you're right here, you go, oh, well, there's a wall here. I can go this way or I can go this way. Well, that looks like a dead end. This looks like somewhere I can go, oh, I can get back out again. And you might trip every once in a while, but you'll get back up.
If you have a strong enough goal.
Yeah, which is back to this reasons or rewards.
Yeah, along with intention, really, there's a creation factor.
Yeah.
Which is you actually taking action
Yeah.
on your intention.
Yeah, you have to have a goal. That's what that whole first thing that we did was, the intention. Is so that without the intention for the goal is not going to be worth it anyway. So you have to know what you want, you have to intend for it, and you have to do it.
So there's a killer book that bounces off of The Secret and pushes people into this.
Awesome.
Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. Oh my gosh, I read this book. And it is one of those things where it's about putting the intention into action. You're not just staring at the wall thinking there's $1 million and it's mine. You actually have to step in the right direction in order to make something happen.
And then it basically sets you up so that you're in the right mindset to start putting these kind of goals together. And they're all just going for you right now. I'm like,
Cool.
this is kind of cool.
Awesome. That's awesome. We have very little time to finish this up in the next 25 minutes so that we can get to the next section.
Oh, you? Is that organization chart?
This is your organization chart. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, perfect.
Ooh, I like that.
It's actually, there's one missing here. That's right. So U times 11. There should be 12 people in your organization chart. And this will actually be included in the program, in the HR systems program that you're all getting today when you get the program. So, does this look fun?
Looks like we're no, but that looks like what every entrepreneur is doing.
Yeah.
You talk to them, they're like, oh, I work from 6 o'clock in the morning and I was still on the phone at 10 o'clock at night.
I'm the salesperson, I'm the accountant, I'm the
Right.
webmaster, I'm the creator, I'm the results person. Okay, I'm just confused, but
Marketing, sales, operations, finance, basically. So, don't do that. That's the whole point of this section. Decide what you're best at. If you're
being at the top.
If you're the entrepreneur, you're here. If you're a good CEO, you're here. That's blue. Wrong color blue. If you're a technician, you're here.
I have a question. Why the CEO all the way here? Why not all the way there?
This is the founder. This is, well, this would be CFO, this is CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, and this would be COO, yeah. But this is the executive levels. This is the founder level. This is where a lot of entrepreneurs want to be, and this is where most entrepreneurs are. And this is an extremely challenging position, simply because you're telling people what to do on a daily basis, making sure that they're doing exactly what you want them to do.
What is it again? CE?
So this is
That's finance,
so this is executives, founder, and technician. So it doesn't matter where you are on here. What matters is that the rest of it's taken care of. Because if you truly love being in this position, and you really don't care about the rest, you just want to do what you love to do, you don't want to make sales, or maybe that's all you want to do is make sales if that's your position, you hire the rest.
and in that case, the top is the CEO
That's
versus the founder. You are the founder.
This would become president at that
I
point.
was just gonna say,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
what happens if you don't really wanna be that top piece of the pie? You have more funding than the other pieces.
So this becomes president. At that point. Yeah. So if you don't want to be up here, which that's perfectly fine, some people don't want to be here. This has a lot of responsibility. This has a lot of tasks. You have to take on everything because if one piece fails, it's your responsibility to get it back up and running. If you want to be down here because you just want to do what you love to do most, and that's all you want to do, and then you can hire out a president who takes care of hiring all the executives, who does all this stuff, it's fine too. Or you can be an executive, you still would hire a president, and you would hire the rest out. But this does require more knowledge of hiring and this is management. So if you really like managing people, this is where you are. If you really like leading people, this is where you are. And if you really just love what you do and you don't want to manage people, you don't want to lead people, that's where you go. So choose one, hire the rest, and move on. And of course, use my hiring system. Number 7. So, I actually want to hear from some of you what you think this is.
What we think it is.
Yeah, for your, or just give me some thoughts on it.
You said values of companies.
Of your company. Values of your company.
I was just gonna say, this actually looks like an exercise to make that 30-second phone call interview decision.
Yeah, we could use that. Definitely, yeah. You would probably want to put this in the posting, job post, yeah. Or if you talk with a client, this is a very short message, by the way. Fairly short, I should say. Two sentences. Yeah, so the values of your company, which to begin with is your values. It's going to be your values. You're going to take what you know, what you trust, what your self is. And that's going to be your company's values. And then you're going to put it in your messaging, which I think we've already done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now you get to get really clear on it.
So the values of the company is the same as your values, because if you have the company that is, you're operating as just one person.
As of right now, all of you are the company. Eventually, when you're here and you're on a boat
Going wherever you want to go.
going wherever you want to go, and you have a president and you have all this stuff worked out, and you're seeing your PayPal go off your phone, cha-ching, 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 every second or so, then your values are going to change for your company, because you're no longer here.
What did you say the 3 tiers were? It's finance, ops, and what?
Marketing, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of the Apple thing. Steve Jobs left,
Mhm.
the values of the company changed.
Yeah.
He came back, changed them right back.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
This is where you're going to be.
It will be.
So somebody who helps, I'm just looking for the right position, title for the position. Somebody who helps somebody define just at the high level, not quite necessarily the detail here, the vision and the purpose and mission. What would you call that? You know, if the company doesn't already have that, what would you call the person?
Hawk Mikado.
Okay, then I'm gonna put you down, and then you're gonna be responsible for all these.
It's expensive, but it works.
Can you give me a position title? Because you are more than, and it's not just
It's
you,
called the
but-
founder, the president.
No, that's not what I'm looking for. Like, if I'm going to go out in the world and look for somebody who does that, what is that position title? No, somebody who
It's
helps
it's just a
people-
consultant. You don't hire you don't have a position for that. You hire a mentor or a coach or a consultant to come in and to do it for you.
In my case, it would be
Ha,
somebody
Mikado.
yeah, because,
It'd be somebody standing at the front of this room teaching all of you.
okay, well, you're not helping me on that one, so.
I'm just saying, it's a consultant or a mentor or a coach.
My parents are an advertising and marketing agency, they do branding.
Yeah.
One of their things is they will help rebrand a company who has lost their way from the mission statement. Obviously, it's not working for them anymore. What's your new message? You're more in alignment with whatever over here.
Yeah.
Not all of them do it, so.
I guess, yeah, along that line, you could have a brand manager.
No, that's fine. But I
But
mean, it
Right.
really is going to be.
You don't, they're generally,
Yeah, you contract them, you wouldn't make them
Yeah.
your employees.
sometimes, yeah, usually it's a temporary or contract. So it's not a
I'm not
full-time
looking to-
position.
For me, I'm looking for it so that anybody who's my client who doesn't have it, then I get it done so that I
Oh,
can then
yeah,
get the video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
So
just
it-
get a
So
brand.
if I have enough, it is my employee. So.
Then we'll, that's fine.
And I can
Yeah.
charge
So
$100,000 for.
all of you are going to get into groups for the next 12 minutes and choose new people, same 3, 3, and 4.
I don't remember who I've done or who I haven't done.
Just if you try to be with at least, probably by this point you've all mingled and intermingled with at least one person, or at least everybody. So just see if you can maybe meet with somebody who you haven't met with since the beginning.
We did the very first one.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're at the.
Yeah, you're probably at the point where it's the back
Yeah.
back to the first group.
You and I, Barbara.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good.
Yeah.
A little confused about this is just, what do we fill up here exactly? It's just the values of the companies?
So it's your value. So you're
In my company.
yeah. So you're going to recraft
Yeah, I've done some things over here.
wherever your value statement is. There it is, right here. it is. Yeah, your values.
This one? Oh, okay.
So you're gonna
craft this?
yeah, just you're continuing what we did
It's-
earlier.
oh, okay, okay.
It's just a more
It's like the other exercise we did, but just refer to this page and refine it.
Well, it's not a company per se,
you are your company.
with no employees, except me.
Are we?
Okay.
Yeah, we're just doing number 7. So
Okay, so.
Um,
We have a group of two.
If I get this right.
Oh, that can work.
are you going to go back? Are you going to work with them? No. Yeah. I mean, if you don't want, I was going to do 3 groups and 1 group of 4. If you don't want to work, then we can move 1 person over.
An operations director, I'm not gonna.
I just figured you'd be able to get more out of
I
it
need a video
by doing
editor,
it.
I need somebody who does branding.
You,
didn't understand it.
okay.
So, what are?
All right, we're gonna pause for a second. Yes, I have experiencing a lot of confusion here.
Anything so close to.
Hold on a
I
second.
get confused like too.
All right, so I'm getting a lot of confusion here. We're going to redo your value statement with what you've just learned. Knowing what we're really doing is continuing your last exercise to make it simple.
And adding what? What we
Just what you're just ready, just being more clear on it, just rewriting it a 3rd or 4th time.
And then if there are other positions or overarching.
This has nothing to do with the organization chart, so don't worry about the other positions. This is the values of your company. So the values of your company are going to be you right now, as of right now, are going to be your values.
So it's not the mission statement, it's the
Value
value statement.
statement, yeah.
So you-
Well, what was yours? And then
Well, I said we have that with the experience of people. They live in top quality and environmentally safe traffic lane service. There are high standards of integrity, trust, dependability, and honesty.
Roberto,
By being rated
Robert,
number 1 on Aegis
do you want to,
2 years in a row.
are you going to go
Particularly
with them or not?
most powerful statement so far. So it's kind of like
Yeah, can
the
you,
idea of, like, you know, you say
yeah, can you work with them?
your target
So we have even groups, 3.
Like we put it on the board, so I guess we're just making, we can help each other make it better idea on so that's kind of like, they help me out. It's like, I feel comfortable with it, but there's anything else I could add. We'll have to, there's a lot, but they said, well, Hawk said you change
Oh.
it for everyone.
Crap.
This one is kind of, yeah, we help families live in a clean and warm home by delivering first quality and environmentally safe, proper clean service through a high standards of integrity, trust, dependability, and honesty. Proven by
I see what I did.
number one.
I see what I did. I see what I did.
What's your story?
Not the right thing.
So I help successful people really share anxiety through my high standard 11 autism. So they have
I see what you're saying now. I think that now I know why people are confused.
I help so-and-so get help small business entrepreneurs.
So you said, what's it again?
So I help successful people.
So you're talking about the successful people.
Sorry?
Through my high standard, every other trainer, they have like slow, calm music in their life. I just can tell you, Pedro and me, this drives us crazy. I haven't talked to anybody else.
So you have to say, maybe we help, you have to ask,
Okay.
maybe say, you said we help.